feel like I wasn't the most articulate when I made my counter argument to Camilla. So Camilla's argument, to the best of my summation, is just that basically, when historically men and women have started to experiment with gender, and we've gone over to androgyny, where there's a mix between the two. That what has traditionally happened is that the warriors of other cultures would move in and slaughter basically. My counter argument to Camilla is just it's true ultimately to some extent that there are some parallels between what's going on in America today and the fall of Rome, but they're not perfect, and there are some ways in which we're nothing like Rome during its decline as well. I mean, it doesn't fit, in a completely perfect way. And I guess what I'm trying to say to her is just that in this time in which we're seeing, ContraPoints and all these other people that are starting to, openly experiment with like trans issues and androgyny and all that stuff, like it's not an all hands on deck moment. It's not as if we need all of the men to be going over to the warrior archetype and fighting off the threats that are external to our country. And the fact is that America is quite good at defending itself. I would, I mean, even if you were able to overcome like our military and get into our space and get into this country, I mean, this is a country where there's more guns than there are people, and there are, like America would never ultimately, like the reprisals and the fighting back and the resistance would just, there's an endless source of we're not going to let anybody else have this place if we can't have it, basically. And so it would be very next to impossible to actually take this country. In fact, pretty much it is, even if you had like the whole world set against us in the United States. And so, you've got this whole situation where Camilla is engaging in this panic, like, and panic mongering, where she's basically, up there like, if we don't stop this, there's gonna be like all this, the civilization's gonna collapse, Western civilization's gonna come to an end, and you know, I don't know how to respond to that, like because it's bullshit, and also, you know, if I were trans, people, I'd be rubbing it in the faces. I mean, who knew that I had so much power that I could cause civilization to collapse? you know, like single handedly.